Sarah walked skeptically, picking up her clothes when the old maid's voice stopped her. "Sir, you." Immediately, Sarah placed a hand on her lips. "Shush," she added, unable to react, shocked as she was. She didn't give the old maid enough room to articulate what had happened in her presence as she scurried out of the mansion. Breathing heavily while standing in the quiet hallway, Sarah knocked on the door. "Open the door. Hey one, open the damn door," she called out, knocking in repetition. "Do you want to pull down the door?" Hey one grumbled as she opened the door. Sarah pushed her aside and walked into the room. Hey one followed her back into the living room. "Where are you coming from?" she asked, arms crossed. "Why are you asking? A new monitoring spirit or something?" Sarah hissed, rushing into her bedroom and shutting the door. In the neatly furnished office, Sarah sat across from Madame Wu, quietly staring as Madame Wu glanced through the file and exhaled deeply. "Sarah, in your record, something like this has never happened before. Why now?" Madame Wu asked calmly, dropping the file. "We are not compatible and his world is chaotic that my help won't save him. It's best I step away and let someone else do it." Sarah rashly explained to her. "Everyone is busy, Sarah. Besides, you know how much comes in terms of damage control," Madame Wu reminded her, sounding worried. "I will come up with excuses and lay low until you find someone else." She paused. "As for the damage fee, I will pay whatever as long as I don't get entangled with this client," Sarah said vividly. Thick silence took over the atmosphere as they stared at themselves for a while. "I will look into this," Madame Wu finally said. Weeks later, Sarah has been terribly sick. After a few days of ignoring Seo-Jun's call, he suddenly stopped calling, and she also didn't push further since her health took a wild turn. Hae-won, who was worried, sat beside her on the bed in the hospital room. "I told you we didn't have to come here. I will be fine," Sarah whispered. "Fine? It's almost 3 weeks, Sarah. You haven't been able to sleep or eat well, and you are constantly having high fever. I'm worried," Hae-won said sadly. "Well, here we go again. You just want to waste my money," Sarah scoffed. "When is the result coming out?" she asked anxiously after a brief pause.
"Soon.
"The doctor will be here soon," Hae-won informed her, and suddenly, her facial expression changed. "What is it?" Sarah observed her. "There is something else," Hae-won muttered, facing the floor. She looked like one who was guilty of something. "Speak," Sarah urged her, slowly sitting upright on the bed. "After the doctor conducted the necessary test, I told him to also check for PT." Hae-won confessed. "P what? Pregnancy? Why do you think so?" Sarah asked with a loud voice. By then, the doctor had already walked into the room. "Because it was necessary. I could have skipped that." The doctor's voice came up and their eyes turned in his direction as he approached them, the clipboard in his hand. "What do you mean?" she questioned the doctor immediately. "You are 2 weeks pregnant, Sarah," the doctor spilled bluntly, and they gasped in shock. "And if you are thinking of aborting it, sorry, that won't be an option because you have a womb defect. Getting pregnant is already a miracle," the doctor added calmly, and Sarah suddenly felt numb and deaf. She didn't know what was happening around her. How come? Her lips trembled as she sat on the bed, hot tears struggling to roll from her eyes. She kept reining it. Did her drunk one-night stand with Seo-Jun turn her life upside down? "You really have to tell him about this, Sarah. You can't do this alone, it's risky," Hae-won urged her one evening as they sat on the armchair in the apartment. But how could she tell him? Hae-won had no idea what Sarah was battling with. She had been calling Seo-Jun since she left the hospital, but he wasn't taking her calls, and by the looks of it, it seemed like he had blacklisted her number. "Sarah, you..." Hae-won attempted to speak again when Sarah faced her sharply. "I need a break, Hae-won. Please, I want to be alone," Sarah muttered in annoyance. Hae-won felt guilty and sad. Thus, she didn't press forward. With a deep sigh, she walked out of the living room. Sarah exhaled heavily, tears rolling down her eyes as she took her phone again. "Can you please pick up?" she whispered as she dialed his number again, but to no avail. Sarah later realized that sitting at home, contemplating and battling alone wasn't the best option, especially when she was so emotional that she didn't want her unborn child to be affected by it. She found her ways around it and traced Seo-Jun. His schedule hadn't changed, from one meeting to another, evening gatherings and weekend trips, but there was a slight difference, and that broke Sarah's heart. Seo-Jun now had another woman in his life. She wasn't Hari, but someone Sarah didn't know, and she doubted it was from the dating agency. Sarah accumulated the courage and approached Seo-Jun in the glamorous gathering hall during the evening. When he saw her, he looked shocked but tried to control his reaction. "Who is she?" the lady beside him asked calmly, and he kissed her on her neck. "Someone you shouldn't bother about," Seo-Jun whispered back, reassuring her. All these actions prickled Sarah's heart, but she remained cold. "We need to talk." Sarah's voice finally found its way into the conversation as he smirked. "About what?" he asked, looking uninterested. "With her here? I just want to talk with you," Sarah demanded. "She is my true wife, so there is nothing she shouldn't hear," Seo-Jun said insistently. Was he about to publicly embarrass her? She wouldn't have said it, but she knew if she left without telling him this, she might be the one to suffer alone. It would be hard to get such opportunity to meet with him again. With a deep sigh, she looked at him. Their eyes unintentionally locked. That night, she began, but he quickly shunned her. "We were both drunk and acted on impulse. Don't tell me you believed everything I said then," he asked her seriously with a hint of mockery in his tone. Sarah's lips pursed as she looked at him in disbelief. Though she was drunk, she could vividly remember every word that he said. That was how much she loved him. I'm pregnant." She finally gathered the courage and spilled bluntly. At first he scoffed in shock and then looked at her, observing how serious she looked. The lady beside him also looked shocked as she rolled her eyes all over Sarah. "What?" That was the only word that escaped from Seo-Jun's mouth. "I'm pregnant, and you are the father. What should we do about this?" she asked, suddenly sounding confident and annoyed. "What do you mean?" "Take it out, of course." He paused, stepping away from the lady while closing the gap between him and Sarah. "I want both you and the child out of my life. How can someone as dirty as you are bear my child? In your dreams." He growled at her face while emphasizing on each word. Sarah's heart shattered. The little affection she had for him faded instantly. "You don't care about my medical report?" she asked. "Who cares? I'm contacting my hospital right now. Go there and get it removed. In less than 48 hours, I will prepare a visa for you to leave this country. I don't want anything about you in my life," he said curtly, staring into her eyes. Was this the same man from that night? She knew he was cold, but then, "I will leave your life forever, Mr. Seo-Jun. I'm never coming back," she said seriously, grabbing her purse. "What?" He looked at her, stunned and confused. "Goodbye." With a last annoying stare at the lady beside him, she elegantly walked out of the hall. Seo-Jun kept staring at her, unable to say a word, stunned by her courage. Was this the end between the both of them? Would Sarah risk her life just to take out Seo-Jun's sperm?